Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Microeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of feedback on the Chapter 8 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for Chapters 9 and 10. And also briefly discuss the midterm exam, which we have coming up next week. Alright, so the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the Chapter 8 activities this morning. So go ahead and look at your grades and read the corresponding grading comments for those activities and let me know if you have any questions. Most of you did very well on those Chapter 8 activities, but I did notice there were a few of you that didn't quite grasp the concepts covered on the assignment. So what I've done is I've added posted a Chapter 8 assignment review video right here on the announcements page. So particularly if you did not do so well on the Chapter 8 assignment, if you missed some things, I would highly recommend watching the video. Even those of you that did well on the assignment may get some benefit from watching the assignment review video here. So go ahead and watch that. Let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, overall, most of you did well. There were just some of you that for example, a few of you on question 1 where it asked you to describe the characteristics that determine the structure of a market. Instead of doing that, you describe the 4 types of market structures. So on some of the questions, it was more of a not reading the question adequately enough to actually answer the specific question answered or asked. All right, so that's one of the things you'll need to make sure you do. Those of you that missed that first question because of that, just make sure that you're actually carefully reading each question and actually answering the question that's asked. Okay? Alright? Other than that, there were just a few things on some of the other questions that some of you didn't quite understand, I don't think. And so, again, that's why I've included this review video to kind of help you out. Alright? And like I said, after you watch the video, if you still have questions, just let me know. Alright? The discussion that we had for Chapter 8 that dealt with the flower auction in Holland, I thought that went really well, and I really appreciate everyone's participation. So keep up the good work on that as well. Most of you did well on the Chapter 8 test, but I am still noticing that most of you are just taking the test one time. Just as a reminder, you can take the chapter test as many times you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded. Also keep in mind that I will be opening up those previously taken chapter tests to use as a learning resource for studying for the midterm and final exams. Alright, and we've got our midterm coming up next week, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. Alright, so that brings us to what we've got coming up due for our next set of activities. So if we go to the activities page in my Ozarka, right now we're on week 7 of the semester. We don't have anything due this week, but you'll notice we do have our next set of chapter activities due early next week, specifically Monday, October 9th. Alright, so even though the next set of activities isn't due until early next week, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be working on those activities this week. Don't wait until Monday of next week to get started, because you probably won't be able to get all the activities completed. So be working on those now, and just give yourself plenty of time. Alright, so chapters 9 and 10 activities again are due by Monday, October 9th, which is basically a week from today. So you've got about a week to work on those. Alright, Chapter 9 covers the monopoly market structure. If you remember from Chapter 8, we learned about just basically what market structure is, the characteristics that define market structure, and then it covered the first type of market structure, which is perfect competition. And perfect competition on the spectrum of market structure is on one far end of the spectrum. And then monopoly, by the way, that you're going to learn about Chapter 9 is on the other end of the spectrum of market structure. And then the other two, which are monopolistic competition and oligopoly market structures, those two that are kind of in the middle of the spectrum of market structure will be covered in Chapter 10. Okay? So in Chapter 8, we covered one end of the spectrum. Chapter 9, we're going to cover the other end of the spectrum, which is monopoly. And then in Chapter 10, we'll cover some market structures that are kind of in between those two endpoints. Okay? All right. So that's Chapters 9 and 10. Make sure that you really take your time on those activities, especially the assignment. Make sure, again, that you're reading the question carefully, that you're answering each part of each question using complete sentences, and make sure you're answering each part of each question thoroughly. All right. All right. Then you'll also notice under week 8 we have the midterm exam scheduled. The midterm exam will cover chapters 1 through 10, which will basically be all the chapters that we'll have covered up to the midway point of the semester, and it will be available online from October 10th through October 12th, which is basically Tuesday through Thursday of next week. All right. To study for the midterm exam, you'll use your previous chapter test, and I'll have opened those up for you. Those will be open for you to use as a resource to study. So your previously taken chapter test are one resource. Of course, your textbook is another resource to use. Your PowerPoint slides, which are available on each assignment page in Miles Arca, and then also your videos, which are also on each assignment page. All right, so make use of all those learning resources to study for the midterm, and I will send out more information, more specific information about the midterm exam later this week. Probably tomorrow I'll do that, so be looking for that. And that's really all I have for you for today. So be working on those activities, be preparing for the midterm. Let me know if you have questions, and I will talk to you in the next video. Thank you.